Guys, welcome to the Friday show. We definitely did not have a previous recording that I needed to erase because it was not appropriate. That never happened. But right now, let's go and take a look at the charts because I have something amazing, or it's scary to show you. By the way, Alex had an amazing trade. I want to go over again after I show this because now we are recording for the first time. Right? All right, let's get it. So I want you guys to go with me here to Bitcoin, and we're all familiarized with this chart, right? I mean, we've been talking about this chart, the rising megaphone, the big two support, so on and so forth, right? But when we go to a chart that we've been building for the last, how long was it? It was right here, February 2025, all right? It's a couple of months ago. Let's go back to that chart. Remember what everybody was telling us, we're going lower, we're going lower, we're going lower, we're going lower. And I was like, let's go to daily. Guys, I think that we're going lower, but this is what I believe is happening right here. I copied the damn thing here, right? You see that? And I pasted here. And a couple of weeks ago, like 4 weeks if I'm not mistaken, we had this first burst through, right? Nice. And right here, I was telling you guys in the same class, hey guys, I think we could be having an early breakout. I would have loved for it to take longer so we have a bigger, more reaction or bigger reactive movement, all right? So what happens? Well, then we burst, and I said, well, we could be here. We should be waiting and looking for a retracement, right? And then a pump. So did we have that retracement? Seems like it. And then boom shakalaka. And then this high was my target. Look at how close to that target we were. Look at that. And then one big candle going downwards. Maybe it's not going to be the same one single candle going downwards, but it could be a multi-candle rejection. I believe after these two movements, we need to have at least a cool-off period. Yes, I know that when we had it, look at that first, little cool-off, second and third, and then we keep rising up. But we already have the first one, and then the second one. Well, then this prediction, which is the same pattern from the previous cycle, it's playing out, right? So we are basically right there. I don't know. But if we have this retraction, I'll be more than happy because that means we have enough cool down of a market that we can come back to grab liquidity at our previous range, right? So it's not about the breakout, it's about your retest. We come back down to earth to grab some impulse to refuel, right? And boom shakalaka. All right, there is one caveat here. Look at those question marks. That is because in my mind, in my analysis, there is no question that we're going downwards. Again, in my analysis, that doesn't mean that I cannot have 2 or 3 analyses. What? This is just one of those. But in this analysis, there is no question that we're going downwards. We could be going a little bit higher. We could be reversing a little lower, but lower not already because we already had hit it, right? And we can go a little bit higher, and then the retracement could be a little bit shorter, right? But in this analysis, there's no chance for that no retracement. So we are retracing, all right? And then when we hit support, which is going to be dynamic reactor, all right, we need to look at our oscillator. If our oscillator is doing this right here, brace yourself because then it's going to become a dead cat bounce or double top, and that's not cool. All right, so remember when Da Vinci went out and said we are officially in the bear market, and I told you guys I respect Da Vinci. All right, he does what he does, right? But I don't think so. I just don't see it. I see a breakout, but could it be a fake out? Yeah, it absolutely could be a fake out. Is it looking now like a fake out? You guys tell me, right? Is it pairing almost 1 to 1? Is it pegging 1 to 1? I would love to, because that in that case we're gonna be 120 in couple of in 2 months again. That'll be fantastic. But again, sell in May, go away. Right? So just want to leave that in here, and then let me just quietly turn around and sneak out silently, because this is bearish. What are your thoughts, Alex?
I'm bullish, man. And I've been bullish. Now, a couple things pointing to that analysis. Obviously, you can't just be like, "Oh, I'm bullish," because I call it, we know what those are called. Those are called bulltards, right? They're just up only. And that's it's not healthy, right? Just going over our trading morning. Started the morning off. VWAP, really, we're chopping around VWAP this morning. This typically happens, after a euphoric kind of pump. And we can see here that we did, we lost VWAP this morning. I managed to take a long here from here to here this morning, just off of the SFP continuation in here. So I managed, a quick $150 in here. I gave the breakout retest continuation on the live stream from here. I didn't take it. I've had a very long past couple days, been busy in and out of life stuff, so not taking as many trades as I wanted. And then I had a little short scalp in here, break even trade basically, where I VWAP slap and continuation down. Okay, so right now I think trapping traders and then aggressive moves is what typically happens, right? What do I mean by that? So you'll have chop, and then you'll have pop, right? Chop and pop, chop and pop, chop and who knows which way, right? So they're trapping traders. Also, as OC knows, my favorite triangle was this morning. So I really wasn't looking for that trade, to be honest, because we were doing our symmetrical triangle. And what do we always say? I always get faked out. So that's exactly what happened in this symmetrical triangle. Now, the question is, how do I feel? Am I bullish? Am I bearish? Well, it'd almost be I wouldn't say stupid to not be bullish here, but the thing that's funny, okay, OC, is that everybody's portfolio is like 50 to 80% in the red. And we've had this pump. Now they're up, right? Everybody who bought their portfolio, right? They were buying the top.
Oh yeah, got it. Yeah,
everybody's altcoins, they're buying here, thinking Trump's gonna pump it. Yep. And now they're down, 80 to 50% on their altcoins, right?
Right.
And then their altcoins have pumped 10%, and now they're like, woo! You know what I mean? It's like you're not even break even. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So how is this bullish, right? That is the question. Well, if we look in general, there's a couple of things in here. So we have flipped 100,000 psychological. Psychological is, it has a lot more power than you think, okay? The news lines for 100,000, everybody hearing 100,000 again it's a wake-up call, okay? Now, we do have some work to do. All-time highs, only 4,000 away. But if we are to push now, like OC said, if we are to continue to push, this is bearish. Why? Because then we would have a sweep of the highs. We said this like 3 weeks ago. If we push up, we sweep the highs, then I look for us to come down. If we come back down in constructive price action in here, I would look for continuation, okay? Okay, so for me, I do not want to see euphoria, because that typically will end up in people getting ruined, right? And price action, destroying people. So trap traders, people getting long, and I mean, you guys know me, you guys saw yesterday I was able to get long, make lots of money during our trading session yesterday. But right now, this just creates liquidity. We understand that. Now, the bullish signs that I've been talking to you guys is a couple of things. Okay, so I've talked to you guys about dominance. Okay, coming up to our 786 area. We literally tapped that circle that's been there forever. We tapped it. It's kind of like it teased me. So we tapped that circle at 786, and we are rolling over right now. Now, this is not saying altcoin season. This is just a little retracement, guys. So don't be a thing. This is a lot better here. This was Donald Trump rally here. But this, when something's this overextended, it's very easy for it to come down. Okay, so be aware of that. Total 3 is something also I talked to you guys about, and we drew this out, and we said we need to close above this high here. Well, what have we done? Okay, so now, because we've done that, we are looking for a retest continuation here. Okay, so this is, inverse head and shoulders, okay, right? We were looking for this when we were doing this, right? So we got it, right? We got it. So some things are starting to be met to suggest that we are going to go into some sort of push. That doesn't mean I think, we're going to 200, 300,000. If anything, I think we get a little rally like into June, July, and that might be it. Or we cool off right now. We cool off, and then we get an end of the year rally. So I'm okay with either. For me, I've taken profits on my SUI because I've tripled my SUI holdings. So that's something I've taken profits on at $4, right? If you go over to SUI, I mean, beautiful. I bought here, right? I bought here, so I'm happy taking some profits here now, right? I didn't take profits up here. I won't make that mistake again. I promise you that. Okay, so having a plan, trading the plan, and being a little bit more aware of my greed, right? You want to be aware of how greedy you're being, right? Because if you're being greedy, right, you're gonna end up getting nothing. You want to get something, okay? How did you feel when your altcoins went down 80%? Ask yourself that question, right? Because that's gonna help you take profits. I know it's not easy because it could go to here, it could go to here. Well, it could go to zero. So make sure you are helping yourself, okay? That's so important. Now with Bitcoin today, what we can see is we've pushed up, right? Up only, beautiful daily candle, right? Coming into this, we have a bunch of levels, and I can share my levels with you guys in the chat here. I think Mike asked for that, but boom. We can share our levels. It gets less cluttered as we zoom in here, okay? But for me, I'm looking for a range between 101 and 105. This is kind of my line in the sand. I'm looking for us to develop a range within here, okay? That would be ideal in my opinion. Now, do we get this? I can't tell you if we're going to cool off and come to this order block. To me, this order block in here would be like, I would like confirmation. So if we roll over here, I would like confirmation. That's where I would look to get gig along again, right around 101. We do have the lows still intact here. Okay, so this doesn't, we treat this as a range, but the thing is we're bearish divergence, overextended, sweep of the highs in here, a little bit exhausted right now. Okay, so with anything like this, it's very important that we try to stay level-headed, okay? Retesting the orb, lows of the range. I mean, simple range theory, buy low, sell high, right? So sweep of the lows just happened, right? So we look for this to push to the highs of the range. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. Right now we have two sweeps, okay? Two sweeps this prior to this. So we have this here and this here. So this gives us, exhaustion. We have decreasing volume. So volume on this highs is diverging, which can bring us back down, and that's, we have stops along the way. I'll share my charts, but for me, it's, not getting too euphoric up at the top, right? Like, happy as ever, right? You could take some trades within here, maybe a long off the orb right now, right? It's not something that I'm taking just yet, but, being prepared, understand this is a lower high, understanding that DAGA is short from here, so you don't want to counter trade DAGA. He might win. So be very careful here in the next, it's Friday. So going into the weekend, be prepared, right? Be prepared. And you know what I was looking at too? Is guys, next Tuesday might be next Tuesday and Thursday might be the end of the markets, okay? because we have inflation. I just shared it in there. Inflation on Tuesday, and then PPI and retail sales and Jerome Powell speaking on Thursday. So I would be very, very cautious because, him and Orange Man don't seem to have a good little relationship going on. And if Donald Trump pumped the markets yesterday, what do you think Powell's going to do on Thursday? Okay.
No,
Be aware.
absolutely.
Be aware what's down the pipeline. Okay. But that's how I'm kind of looking at it right now, OC, and hopefully that helps everybody. I'll share my charts out so that you guys have them as well.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much for that. So let me bring up a couple of other stuff that I have lined up in here, which are also from Bitcoin and also from Fartcoin. Let's take a look at what we got in here. By the way, guys, if you have any questions, please let us know. I want you guys to be prepared for the weekend. So if you're looking at any assets and you want us to have an opinion on it, feel free to let us know. And all right, let me go to Fartcoin. And that Fartcoin entry, that was on this other setup. So bear with me here for a second. And oh, my bad. And right here, perfect. And back to Fartcoin. Where is it? Here it is. All right, so let's go to the 4 hours here. We were expecting a little bit of a bring back to some entries in here. Remember, we did some. Let me just hide it. Everything. So there he is. So we did a double entry, half of an entry here in this line, right here on the dynamic reactor, and another half in here. Why? Because we had a predictive range right there. There we go. And no, not this one. Where is my predictive ranges? Come on. Maybe I changed them? Yeah, maybe I changed them. From predictive ranges, yep, I changed them from local to 4 hours. But whatever, let's just roll with this. Basically, we had some predictive ranges in here. Not only that, we also have a trendline zone, and we have a VPVR area of possible entry. Where's my VPVR? There it is. We have it right here, a big chunky block. So basically we're looking for this entry. So what happens? We averaged down between those two entries and went up in here. So basically we turn out at this point 50% out from basically having a quarter, because this is their early profits. TP1 50% out, then another 50% out. And for the new members, how much do we have from the original entry if I have taken 50 and 50? Let me ask you that question. That's 25. Funny. Yes, you're right. But this usually it's a puzzle for new members. So just wanted to make sure that we're all in the same channel. So we still have 1%.
Sorry.
25.
I won't do math anymore.
Yeah, guys, remember that when we take 50% out in a broker, you click 50% and you take the profits. So it's 50% of whatever is left. All right. So you're first taking profits. Let's just say that we do $100. All right. The first TP is 50% of whatever is left. So 50% of 100 is $50, right? And then the next TP is 50% of whatever is left. So right here is 50% of 50, 25, right? So how much we have in here? 25% still out of the initial setup. All right. So when I said take out another 50%, well, it's not that we're taking 150% gains, but we're taking 50% of whatever is left. And this is not counting the amount of profits that we have. All right. So maybe on your first TP, you initiated with $100, but then you had 150. Right? So what would it be, the 50% of 150? Whatever. I'm not going to be doing the math right now, and then so on and so forth. All right. So just a little bit of a puzzle here. So that's why yesterday I got asked, hey, man, are you taking 150% gains? And not really. It's just a 50% of whatever is left. Right. So just want to make sure that we are all in the same page. So we had risk a full entry right in here, and then 50% out, 50% out, and then the rest is trailing it for another 50% out, or even full targets. Right now, I'm seeing that we're almost maxing out. All right, can we still go higher? Yes, we can, but I'm gonna go ahead and call out this trade. All right, why? Can we burst like very badly to the upside? Absolutely, but I'm gonna be taking my profits today, Friday. Usually throughout the weekend, I do trade S coins, but that is for fun. This one was also for fun, but it's time for me to take some profits. Why? Throughout Friday, I start cutting out my winners, and that is because of it. And that is because the low volume is coming. All right, so we don't know what's going to happen, but still, I rather go out in profits than it retraces on me and then go off. And I explained the 50-50-50-50 thing because if you want to, just instead of closing this trade, just take another 50% out and maybe see if we can make it all the way up there. At this point, I don't quite think so. But still, based on what we have, and let me just clear this up because we're not going to be following up on this trade anymore. I believe that, look at that, if we have a breakout, it's going to be basically right away. I mean, we have that fake out, or even if we account for it and we ignore this area and we go like this, we have a little bit of a broadening wedge or a megaphone in here, right? So for us to actually break out, we need a candle at least till there or somewhere around there. And look at that, that's very close to our predicted range, all right? If we have something else, I believe that we have a resistance in there. No, because we're breaking the highs. Let me see. We had something. I believe another setup. Oh, yeah. Another setup of predicted ranges that I overrided there. But that means that is not about your breakout. It's about your retest. And then off we go for a third of a movement or even half of a movement. Let's measure that. If we have that, well, then a third of that movement would be right there. Perfect. Coexistent perfectly on the trend line that we have going on. So I rather see it bursting, come back down, re-enter. If we are bouncing off the 0 line, I buy cheaper and then I go back in the trading zone right there, or on with the movement. All right. But other than that, I just want to go over Filecoin. Another one that I'm looking at is Jasmy. I lost my entry on Jasmy. That was not good. Yeah, didn't like that, but whatever. This is looking exactly the same. All right, so this is kind of my revenge trading. Like, dude, did I just actually miss that one? I was waiting for that for a long fucking time, and then I missed it. Well, then we're having kind of like a goose head, but also we're reversing. We already have some overbought zones, a reversal triangle, and we have a lot of volatility. What does a lot of volatility means? That we're not going to be ranging, all right? So we're going to be doing either something like that or something like that, all right? So I still need to wait. I rather see these absorption zones and then maybe short it to once again a third of a section. Alex, do you happen to know how can I divide something in three pieces? Like this one divides in half.
For taking profits?
Kind of just to measure.
Threes.
What is it?
You can use
maybe a modified Fibonacci tool.
Yeah, so you use fibs. You'd have your 0, 333.5.
Oh.
So you'd have a template on your fibs.
Shit, there it is.
So you pull your fib, yeah, right, and then you coordinates, yeah, you delete everything for 0 and 1. Keep your 0 and 1. Delete everything else. And your 0.5, put your 0.5 on too. Keep your you put 0.3.
Yeah, got it.
0.3, 0.5.
0.3, 0.5.
0.66.
And 0.66. Now let's just do 0.66. Thank you so much for that. And then, oh, but it's not equally. But I mean, I can work with this. Perfect. So base on 3. There we go. I want to go all the way down here and all the way. I think I can make it work. Thank you for that, my friend. So as you can see, it is also coexisting. Well, this will be a half of the movement. Let me do it the other way to see. So
Let me see if I can figure something out for you.
yeah, so something around there. So if I go all the way up here, my retracement is going to be in here. So at least I'm going to be looking for another retracement there. And if I can hold the 0 line, I might be able to burst up. All right. Again, the weekend 3 days. So for the best case scenario, throughout the weekend, we can go up to the resistance. I wouldn't trade that, just so you know, because it's the weekend. So let's go to the 15 minutes in here. And despite this is looking very tradable, because look at the pole that we have. This is fantastic. We are losing the trend line. So we lose the trend line, we lose the trend.
Except you use 0.75 and 0.25.
Perfect. Let me see.
Not 0.33.
So you were saying, sorry?
So make it 0.25 and instead of 0.33, 0.25.
0.5 and then 1.
And 0.75.
0.75. All right. Let's save as thirds. Nice. Thank you, my friend. Oh, you are fantastic, brother. Yes, it works. Nice. Love it.
Yeah, buddy.
Absolutely. All right, so there we go. This is our first possible entry, half, and because it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. So we have 1, 2, and 3 divisions. Perfect. So right here, we should be basically on the first retracement, and then maybe looking for a possible next retracement if we bounce like that. I think that would be fantastic. Oh, man, you are like magic. I'm telling you, you make my day, brother. All right, so... so this looks very tradable, but since we're going to the weekend, I will be a little bit hesitant, and especially since, let me clear this up. Look at that, we almost have a perfect flat bottom here, right? That's what she said, that I have a flat bottom. Don't know what she meant, but I think she was talking about trading, right? Because what else could be flat and bottom also? So just a triangle, right? So we have a flat bottom triangle. Usually the flat bottom triangles tend to break down to the flat part, all right? So that will be to the dynamic reactor. We're losing the 0 line. Perfect. The only thing that we need, it is the flip of the ribbon for a retest. Maybe we can have it in here. And then if we retrace like that, if we retrace, look at that, breakout, retest, off we go, right? Breakout, retest, off we go. That support, sweep of the lows, and maybe we can have this by Monday. We need to come back and watch it through Monday. Just keep your alerts. Maybe we can do an alert in here and maybe an alert on the previous highs just to make sure that this is not moving the other way around. Because if it does, remember, we're looking for previous highs, right? If this is a triangle, breakout, right? Retest, and off we go. So I'll be looking for maybe jumping back into a quarter. Oh, that's a half quarter of an entry if we do this. All right, so that's what I got so far on Jasmine. Another one that I was looking at, it is oh, somebody yelled. Link is looking very similar, but it has a little bit of an extra humping here. That hump, I'm very used to that one. And that is because I see it every single day in the mirror. Sorry, in Bitcoin, right? And then, let's take a look at Bitcoin so you see what I mean with that. Let's see. Here it is. So look at that. First, we have that movement to the upside. We have the first hump. The next thing that creates the bull or the bullish pennant, right? The first hump, the next one that creates the bullish pennant with sweep of the lows, right? Here we go, another one. The first, oh, come on. The first hump, The second one that creates the bullish pennant. You see that? So it repeats over and over and over, right? It is not a guarantee that we're going to be going upwards. I mean, in this case, we kind of like a flip back down. But usually, this is a bullish pattern, especially when we are in an uptrend, right? Nonetheless, let me see. That was on, come on, link. We have, yeah, perfect. On the 4 hour, no, on the 1 hour, was it? Yeah, perfect. On the 1 hour, we have the little humping here, all right? And then the next one, that usually creates the bullish pennant. So the only thing that I'm going to be looking at, and look at that, I was expecting that movement, right? Up, down, that's it. It already played out for this perfect movement. So it already played out. What I'm going to be looking at, it is this here. Bounce or go through, right? If it goes through, I already know what I'm going to be longing it, dynamic reactor. If it bounces, I'm going to be waiting for the breakout. And in this case, I'm going to be trading the breakout. I'm not going to be trading the retest. This is dangerous. So if I do the breakout, I'm going to be going for 1/2. Let me now bring on my support and resistances. Look at where is my big support area, right? So in this case, I'm going to set my stop loss all the way down here. I know this looks like a newbie. In fact, this would have been like a very newbie trade, having a stop loss like that and then aim to previous highs, right? Perfect. We're gonna get millions out of this trade. All right, perfect. So the point in here is that I always want to risk 1/2. My next half is gonna be right here, regardless, right? 1/2. If I enter here, if not, I enter right here with one full position. That's it. Not deviations or anything. That will be bringing this one down somewhere around here, all right? And as soon as I'm hitting that area and I reversed, I'm going to start scaling, scaling up my stop loss, all right? I'm going to scaling up my stop loss, and then as it goes back into the green, I move my stop loss to enter and I start taking some profits. So that's going to be my plan so far. Let me just Control-C this and add an alert right here and add an alert right there. All right, so those are going to be the things that I'm looking for the weekend. So as you mainly see, I'm expecting to have a retracement, right? And I'm looking to reposition myself for the upside. So why am I looking for the upside if I already showed you in the Bitcoin price that we can be reversing? And remember that we are right now on the 1 hour and the 15 minutes, while in Bitcoin we were on the daily. And something that I mentioned on the daily, it was that we could have, and let's go back to the daily. This is not the same chart, but let's just have a look at it. On the daily, we could have 1 or 2 or 3 candles, all right? I'm expecting something like that. 1, 2 candles, and then the retracement to the trend line. All right, so I still have 1 or 2, 3 days. So if I hover over this area 1 or 2 days, that is Saturday and Sunday, and then I need to look at my oscillator to see if I'm going downwards to the support. If that happens, we already talked about the support area, right? So you guys should be prepared. So that's what I got so far. We are running out of time. Alex, do you have anything else? Or should we be go partying today?
It's Friday, baby.
It's Friday.
It's Friday. That's it. No, I just think, yeah, consolidation. If anything, if Bitcoin goes sideways, we could see a little bit of rotation into some altcoins, but it's not gonna be easy to find them. So look for retracements on most things, and then try to practice good risk management if you're going to trade this weekend, okay? Be safe, though. I think it'd be a big bull trap if you're trying to get long.
I was just watching the SpongeBob thing that you...
Oh, that's the flat bottoms, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the one, man.
That's the one. That's the one. I love it.
Be safe out there, everybody.
Absolutely.
That's all.
That's it. Guys, thank you so much for joining. Have a great Friday, and we have the recordings on the class recordings. I'm going to be updating it today because I think I'm behind 2 recordings. Other than that, Have an amazing Friday. And if you're Plus, I see you guys in 15 minutes on the Plus exclusive class. Other than that,
All right.
see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye bye.